everybody, and welcome to BetterQuest, the show about getting better and holding you accountable, holding each other accountable. My name is Ben Hanson. I'm joined, as always, by Jeff Cork.
Hey!
And if you're watching the video version, we're also joined by the painting of Tim Turry as Princess Peach behind you, Cork. I didn't know you had that. That's amazing.
I don't know.
Okay. Fun times. This is BetterQuest, everybody. Every single month, without fail, since this show's inception, we've set a personal goal for ourselves, and we encourage everybody in the MinnMax community to set a personal goal for themselves just for 1 month. Anybody can do anything for 1 month. I could hold my breath for 1 month. Maybe that'll be my goal. Who knows? The point is, if you're watching this, it's a great time to jump into the MinnMax community, into the MinnMax Discord, or just on your own, set your own personal goal for this month, no matter how small. Just to have some accountability, though, it's nice to jump into that MinnMax Discord and then tell them what your goal is, how you're doing. We have a whole spreadsheet. Just give people updates, because a good public shaming never hurt anybody, right, Cork?
No, I think the best things that have happened in history have been based on shame. It's like the motivating factor.
That's right. That's right. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you. You can unlock the podcast version of this, all of our interviews, early access to the MinnMax show, the Deepest Dive, which is our huge community game club, and just help support independent games media in general by going to patreon.com/MinnMax with 2 N's and supporting us over there. We appreciate it. And when you support us, Cork, you get an RSS feed, which it's not complicated. You just copy that, paste that into your favorite podcast app, and it's just filled with a bunch of MinnMax bonuses, and we appreciate the support. It ain't hard, Cork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You idiots. Is that what you're trying to say?
I was waiting for someone to fill in those gaps. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great.
Yeah? Feeling revved up, ready to go?
Revved up, ready to go.
Let's see, I had dinner with you not too long ago.
It's true, in person.
In person, yeah. What was it like to look at me? No, what is that like to... Was it overwhelming to see people again, to be in a dinner environment, or was it more comfortable than you thought?
It was great. For context, some former GI alums got together and sat at a giant table and had dinner, and it was wonderful.
Yeah. Here's a weird thought.
What's that?
Maybe it wasn't wonderful. No, here's a weird thought. I was just thinking, like, I don't know, maybe it's just a reflection of how dead I am inside or something, but I feel like throughout the entire pandemic, we all had this story that we told ourselves that, like, once this whole thing was over, it's going to be like social city, baby. I'm calling up all my old friends. I'm going to hug them. I'm going to spit in their mouths with consent. This is going to be awesome. I'm going to be so socially energized. And I enjoy seeing people, but I'm not very socially raring to go. Do you feel the same way?
I never feel super socially ready to go.
Maybe that's what it is.
So like I never told myself that like my personality was going to change fundamentally.
Right.
But I certainly like things like that. I absolutely look forward to, and I'm looking forward to meeting up with people over the summertime. But I had no illusions about like now every weekend is going to be booked. I'm going to have Saturday night plans. I'm going to go to lunch with people on Sunday. Not like that.
I know it's like a stupid cliche, but it wasn't until like a couple of years ago that it really hit me of like, oh yeah, that is a good definition of like the whole introvert versus extrovert thing. Does everybody know this? That idea that like introvert people recharge by themselves and extroverts recharge by being with others. It's like, that's such a good way of looking at it. And that's such like the clearest line of like, oh, I'm absolutely introverted then.
Yeah. Like I find myself, I like excel in small, like one-on-one interactions. That's when I feel like most at home. But like when it gets bigger than that, I just fall apart.
And what does falling apart look like?
Just, well, you saw it at dinner. Just a disaster.
It was embarrassing. He was like trying to get attention by putting fries up his nose, and he was screaming, "Don't look at me." It's more of a shriek.
Yeah. I don't know what I wanted at that moment. I wasn't getting it though. That's for sure.
Yeah. I did have a moment where I don't know what it was. Maybe I just ate too much or was feeling weird, but I was at like a social event not too long ago. And I just had this overwhelming vibe of like, I need to get out of here. I don't know what I don't know if it was like pandemic related or just I was weird and self-conscious, but I was just like, socially, I cannot handle this right now. And I don't know if you do these dumb mind tricks on yourself. Welcome to BetterQuest, by the way, everybody. But those, like these dumb mind tricks on yourself where I just every once in a while try and like reframe, like, look at this. It's a wonderful night. hanging out with people that I like and that I would like to talk to, but just for some reason, every ounce of my body is just like run away.
Oh yeah.
You have that?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
What's the takeaway? Just sometimes that happens to weird
Sometimes
bodies?
that happens. Sometimes you just need to get out.
Well,
so the secret is you just leave. You don't try to find the host and say, here's the deal. I'm just not feeling it.
Yeah.
You just leave.
Just jump a fence.
People won't realize it until like an hour later, and it's fine.
Is that really what you do?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I feel like you can get away with that.
That's what if I'm feeling like I've got to get out, though. If it's just like a normal, like a situation where it's like the party is winding down, absolutely, I say goodbye to everybody and make a big production out of it. But if I'm just having that like fight or flight kind of a thing, I know that my flight will be interrupted the longer I prolong it, and it'll just be worse all around. So just get out. Yeah.
Speaking of get out, we were getting out of our old habits last month by having personal goals throughout the month of June. And for the first time ever with BetterQuest, we had the bold move of what if we didn't set our own personal goals? What if we set goals for each other and then revealed it on the show? And we could have been real monsters. Like I could have said, Jeff Cork, you have to lose 100 pounds in a month or else you lose everything.
Yeah.
You know,
I've seen 7. I know that that's very difficult to even just lose a few pounds, like 1 pound of flesh.
Yeah, it'll do a lot to you. But hopefully you didn't feel too stressed out. My challenge for you, Cork, is would you like to lay it out?
Yes. You said, hey, stupid.
Yep.
You used to be a writer, and you should talk to a bunch of people who want to write about games and give them advice.
I think I said it more eloquently than that. But yeah, it's like you should find like 3 people to just share some of the wisdom that you've accrued after years and years of writing about games in like a light mentorship, and then call them up on Discord and have a chat with them about their work and give them some feedback.
Yes.
Okay. Walk me through. How's the process, Cork? We hang up last month from the BetterQuest call and you sprint somewhere. Where are you going? What are you doing?
I'm running to the couch and I'm just treating it like a speed bag while muttering your name. I was like, that's so-and-so. I gave him such an easy layup, and he's like making a commitment for me that I don't know that I could keep, because it was like when this was the month of E3.
Right.
And even though I don't work in games press anymore, I'm still like game adjacent, working like with clients that are releasing games. So it's just like, it's a busy time.
Yeah, I think I think honestly, like talking to a couple people in the PR realm though, I think like this E3 was a lot more stressful for them than the press side.
It was stressful because a lot of it was just people not knowing what was going on.
Yeah.
So much of it was uncertain, and just so many showcases popped up, and being on the other side, you take for granted this thing is held together with twine and baling wire. Like, everything looks good on stage, and when people are giving their presentations, you have no idea how last second a lot of these things are put together. It's really interesting.
Wow.
Anyway, yeah, so I was like, I had a moment of panic. I'm like, I don't know that I could do this. I don't know, like, how am I going to find people? Like, I don't even know where to begin. But then I was just like, all right, let's do it. So I put a thing out in the MinnMax Discord, and
in the BetterQuest channel.
In the BetterQuest channel, exactly. And some people reached out, and I've followed up, and had a bunch of chats with a bunch of people.
Okay. Walk me through it. People reached out. Is there kind of like a larger umbrella, or does everybody have their own criteria of what they're looking to get?
Everyone's
feedback
doing
on?
their own thing. So like it ran the gamut. I'm not going to like name names or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
Because that wasn't part of the conversation.
Interesting.
But it ran the gamut of like someone who is not writing, but wants to write and just isn't sure about a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
To people that are like freelancers and have been doing it for a long time, just looking to like improve a little bit, get some feedback, and kind of people in the middle too. So I think I ended up talking to 6 people.
6? That's beyond the goal.
I was just like, ultimately, I was like, I didn't want to say no to anybody. People reached out and wanted help, and they wanted, it was a fun experience because they knew they were helping me as much as I was helping them, even though I was helping them more, we'll be honest. No, it's not true. But you know what I mean? So they were like, hey, I want to help you with your goal. And it was like a fun way to approach that. It was like, thank you, because I can't manufacture people anymore.
Lord knows I'm trying.
And it takes a very long time anyway.
Yeah. So
yeah, it was great. So like, had multiple chats. Like some people I only spoke to once, and there have been a couple of people I talked to 3 or 4 times. And
wow,
it's been great.
Above and beyond, dude. What's like, if you could generalize, like what was the biggest piece of advice? What do you feel like you found yourself telling multiple people? The
biggest piece of advice, I would say, buy a copy of the AP style guide.
Okay.
And then just get in the mentality of recognizing that, to quote the late Donald Rumsfeld, you don't know, or paraphrase, you don't know what you don't know. You know, there are known unknowns.
Now you know.
Yeah, it's just recognizing, like, I think I know how like street addresses are written out, but I'm going to look it up just to make sure that I've got it formatted. Like, do I spell out road or do I say RD? That kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Interesting. And
yeah, so that's super helpful. I think just it teaches you to be consistent with your writing, and you're always going to mess up and everything like that. It's just part of it. But that's probably a great place to start, I would say.
Okay. And do you know if, like, you can probably just Google AP style guide, you know?
Now, you can do it like there's a digital version.
Yeah.
I highly recommend buying the physical one, the spiral bound one, because it lays flat. And you walk around your house and you'll look like a big smart guy.
Nice. Any other general tips that came up that you thought were interesting and could help other people?
I think I found as I was talking that I was just like, I don't know if other people do it this way. And I just made it very clear, like, this is like, everyone, you got to find something that works for you.
Yeah.
I will lay out how I've kind of settled into a pattern of, like, this is what works for me. This is how I approach writing, this kind of a thing. It may help. I hope it helps. It may not, you know, but yeah.
Okay. I'm looking for more like kernels of wisdom here, Cork.
Kernels of wisdom.
Yeah. I don't know. Writing kernels of wisdom. You must have been dishing them out to them, dishing them out to everybody.
Well, you got to subscribe to my Patreon. That was
that's right. It's Kernels of Wisdom, COLON.
I think I spelled it wrong, though, in retrospect. But the domain was very easy to get, which meant I should have looked into that further. But it starts with a K, right?
So, yeah, you got it.
Okay, phew.
I don't know, but no other good general writing tips?
A lot of it, honestly, is just like, just write. Just the nature of getting stuff on the page is, I think a lot of times that's one of the things I struggle with especially something that's larger, that like a bigger project is just a matter of like, your first draft is going to suck. And if you're a perfectionist in some ways, like I am, I'm really weird about that kind of stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
You just have to let that go. It just gets stuff on the page and then you can fix it later. But it's just that first step of, I don't know if like video editing is something similar.
I think so, yeah.
Because if you try to like tweak every cut and you make every sentence perfect the first time, you'll never get it done.
You just have to do something so you can change it. And then
so you can, yeah, exactly. So you can sleep on it, look at it, fix it.
And then it's always that push and pull too, like at the later end of the process of looking at this thing and being like, a couple things are kind of annoying me. Should I go back and rework this thing? And I'd imagine with writing it's the same, where it's like, it always is better to be like, all right, in video editing at least, like, I want to make a new sequence and just go nuts. Just to see what could happen if I rearrange stuff. It's like, oh, it's always 1,000 times better. But, yeah. But like to that idea of just getting something on the paper, I think we talked about it a little while ago on the MinnMax Show podcast, but there's an article, I think it's a New Yorker, with Swartzwelder, the old Simpsons writer. And he had that basic advice too, where he said like, well, nothing's worse than staring at a blank page and having to write something. Like, I dread it. I've written hundreds of scripts, thousands of scripts probably. I just hate it. And so he's like, nothing's worse than that, and nothing's harder than that. And so just type, just do not stop, make it this sloppy mess. And then the next morning, you just have to go and rewrite something. And he's like, because writing is the hardest thing to do, and rewriting is the easiest thing you can do. And so if you just get something out that first day, then your job is just easy.
Yep.
Which is good advice.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then hit publish. Well, good, Cork. I'm glad you did it. You leveled up, dude.
Yeah. And I will say this, like, if I enjoyed it a lot, I thought it was a lot of fun. And like, if there are people on the Discord who are like, have questions or just need help, I'm more than happy to pitch in any way that I can. So just shoot me a message on Discord.
So they can tag you in the BetterQuest channel or anywhere?
And just, yeah, exactly.
Do you remember what your name is on Discord?
Of course not.
Okay, well, we can figure it out. Just start wandering in there and screaming for Jeff Cork. We'll find you. Jeff Cork, your assignment for me was basically fluff up your pillow and sit back and relax, I believe, for the month.
Let me kiss your forehead.
Don't squirm. No, it was bake a loaf of bread and make a cake from scratch.
It's true.
Yeah. I made the loaf of bread a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Couple
walk me through it.
Revelations there. My girlfriend likes to cook and bake and all that stuff, so she has a great resource. And so she's like, oh, just make like a beer bread, which seems very strange to me. The idea of just like cracking a beer and just pouring it into the mixing bowl. But that's what we ended up doing. A couple revelations along the way. The fact that bread takes days to make blew my mind. They do like, well, you got to let it sit or whatever. And like, whatever. It's got to get ready.
Okay.
Right? The idea that the Dutch oven is a thing that you use to make bread, not just a fart joke.
It's not a fart joke.
It's a real revelation.
It's a fart system.
That's what I always imagined it. Let's see. Then after you pull it out of the oven, the fact you have to let it sit for like 2 hours because it keeps cooking.
It's excruciating, isn't it?
It's brutal.
Like crackling sounds and stuff.
Oh, when it smells the best, you can't go near it. And then also she had the good tips of like, oh, here's what you should do. You should take like just some scattered nuts and stuff and put it over the top of the bread before you put it in the oven. And also, this is probably bread 101, but also take a knife and just make those slits in the top because it just looks so much better then when you take it out of the oven. So I have a picture. Do you have Slack open, Cork?
I do.
Let me, if I may, let me send you over just a good pic of that bread. Okay, coming through now.
A nice rustic loaf.
Thank you. It was inedible, but it seemed good at the time.
4 pounds.
The problem is, then I had to eat that entire loaf of bread. It's like, all right, I'll just keep going to town on this because if there's bread in my house, I'm gonna freaking eat it. And so it was a good feast.
As like the saying says, if there's bread in the house, play ball.
That's right. So then the cake. This was tricky, Cork. Trying to figure out when to do this cake. But I'm going to hang out with my family for 4th of July here. And they asked us to bring a dessert. And I said, aha, boy, do I have something for you.
It's got mold on it. Now.
It's half a loaf of bread. So the question is like, okay, can we find a cake that we can keep for a couple days because I had to do it yesterday and then we're going down Friday and stuff. And I don't know, apparently that was a big deal. My girlfriend was really making a big deal about like, it's going to be bad. I'm like, cake's cake. Put it in the fridge. It's fine. So we picked out this one. And just to be clear, she was kind of like my coach, but I was doing everything. But every once in a while she'd be like, oh, use the back of a knife to like scrape off the top of the measuring cup. Like those types of like idiot-proof things she helped me with. So I promise this was my doing. Here, I'll send you over a picture of what it was supposed to be. This is the blackberry lavender naked cake.
This is just the same loaf of bread from a different angle.
Oh, crap. No,
wait, is this the photo from the magazine?
Yeah, this is blackberry lavender naked cake with white chocolate buttercream.
See, now this photograph that Hanson has provided, it is a gorgeous looking thing. It's like on a pedestal.
Right.
It's got like a swirl, berries, a flower on top. It's on this very rustic looking table.
Right.
With flowers scattered. Let's see what it really, this is like a nailed it situation, isn't it?
It's, Cork, higher than you could ever imagine. It was a long night of working, and I'm proud to present the official blackberry lavender naked cake. Now, is that laughter because your stomach is rumbling so much from seeing this, or?
Well, let's see. I think the thing that makes me laugh the most is that, instead of where there are flowers, on the table in the example one, it's just a blob of frosting.
Which it turns out was the best part of making that cake is the real mess. You just get to feast on everything.
It looks like you frosted it when it was still a little too warm.
Do you really think that's what happened?
Absolutely.
Oh, because it's like curdling?
No, because that's happening too, but it looks like the frosting is melting.
Oh, I was a little unclear. So we had very fancy white chocolate chips that we used and put those in the microwave for a minute, which it told us to do it. And then it turned out that burnt all of them. And so it's like, well, we can't put charred chips. So then my girlfriend ran back to the grocery store, got new white chocolate chips. And I don't want to point fingers, but I'm just saying in this situation, somebody bought the cheapest possible white chocolate chips at the store after that. And I feel like it really hurt our frosting in a big bad
this
way.
has got Market Pantry written all over it.
But
it looks like a stack of pancakes, like the New York cream cheese pancakes from IHOP, which I love.
yes. Well, there we go. Then it's going to be great. So I haven't tasted it yet because I don't want to like bring it over to my family for the big 4th of July meal and have it be like half gone or something. But I'll report back on how it tastes. But if it tastes as good as it looks, we're going to vomit.
Yeah, it's going to be so rancid. That thing looks just wet.
Oh, you guys hungry for wet cake?
Yeah, it's probably fermented. Like you're going to have drunk toddlers.
Stumbling into the lake. No.
I'm very proud of you though.
Thank you.
Did that.
Thank you. We really swung for it. I swung for it. I should phrase it correctly. But it's a sign of just, I don't know, bravado or how stupid people are. But since I don't really cook, like going through this process, I was trying to poke holes in it at all times of just like, what are we doing? Like, could anyone really taste if we put 4 eggs in here instead of 3? Like these measurements, how exact does it really need to be? And like, yeah, I like vanilla extract. What if we doubled that? And my girlfriend's like, no, you don't understand. This is serious. Like most of this is like chemistry. Like you cannot mess with this, which it blew my mind that the idea of just, oh no, like it's all these different measurement cups, but it needs to be exactly right or else literally the baking powder won't mix with the baking soda and it'll be a disaster.
There's a reason why they make containers of different size.
Yes.
For you to put the stuff in.
That's what I really learned. Thank you for teaching me this. But then just weird stuff too about like, apparently you can over mix things. Like I was having a fun time whisking stuff and my girlfriend's like, stop. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's mixed. She's like, no, you don't understand. There's over mixing. Like, what is this concept?
Yeah.
Also, it's really weird when you make a cake. First of all, going to the grocery store, spent $60 on these ingredients. So this is a primo cake. But then it's like when you're actually putting all the ingredients in yourself, it blew my mind about like 2 cups of sugar is a bananas amount of sugar. Like just seeing all this crap that's going in your body and then powdered sugar later, it's like, this is insane. The idea of eating this, my God, I'm now scared of it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. The fact that you went, it didn't say like, I'm going to make a yellow sheet cake.
Right.
With cream cheese frosting. So like for that, absolutely 100% applaud you for trying something crazy.
Thank you.
Like I see that picture of that cake and I know, oh no, that's impossible. Like I would not make anything that could look that good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But you know what the real lesson was, Cork?
What's that?
My girlfriend several times since last night has said like, I thought that was really fun. Like I really enjoyed cooking with you. And I think in a way, that's the point of cooking, Cork, is to spend time with loved ones.
Yeah. Have you played It Takes Two?
Yeah, that's right. It's all about spending time with loved ones.
I'm that creepy book. You can't tell, but I'm doing a lot of really suggestive pelvic thrusts.
Yeah. It's really fun. Oh, speaking of It Takes Two, did you play Before Your Eyes yet?
I did.
Did you really?
I really did.
Oh, wow. Okay. When did you finally play it?
I played it 2 weeks ago.
Wow. Okay. What'd you think?
Oh my God. I'm so glad I knew nothing about it.
Okay, perfect. Like you didn't even know the tech. If you don't remember, this is the game where it uses your webcam and it tracks when you blink, and the entire thing is about looking at a character's life after they've died, like going back and kind of reliving their life is kind of the big picture. Okay, so you didn't know what the blinking tech or anything.
I knew nothing about it.
Okay, walk me through your emotions. How'd you do?
I loved it. I thought it was great. I think I had no idea what I was in for. So then when it's just like, this game is about blinking, I was like, damn it, Hanson, you've done it again. And then I think afterwards I saw like Jacob Geller friend of the show, is doing an essay on it.
Oh, I don't know if it's live yet. I haven't seen it, but
he's doing something on it, I believe. He's
okay.
working on it, he said on Twitter. So I'm very excited to hear his thoughts on it, but it's just a really beautiful experience. And the fact, he did one thing. I think he's going to do another one. I just realized I watched it. It's interesting because like when you blink, a scene it'll transition, right? So you're trying to like prolong a scene as long as you can by keeping your eyes open. So like you see like characters talking about you and you're a little kid and you're like, I want to hear what they're saying. Like, where's this conversation going? And then you blink and then it's just like the screen fades and then it's like 2 months later, something completely unrelated. So you're just like, wait, what?
I know it's maybe cheesy, but like, I really think that's one of the most brilliant ideas I've ever seen in a video game. Just the idea of like, oh, you're flashing through somebody's life and when you blink, that part of your life is over and you have to move on. It's insanely good.
100%. It is such a great idea and it doesn't overstay its welcome.
Yeah, it's like an hour and a half or something.
Yeah, I did it all in one sitting. I don't know if is that what you did as well?
Yeah.
It's pretty intense. Like, especially there's a couple of sections where you have to keep your eyes open for a long time. And if you do blink, it'll be like, no, you got to do this. It's like, what do you want from me, man?
Right. And like, even without giving anything away, like, I think the story just got better and better. Like as I was in the middle of it, I'm like, I don't really like the direction this is going. And it's like, okay, now I understand where this is going. And it's so much better. And like that ending leveled me, Cork. I don't know how you fared with it.
Just devastating.
I mean,
it's such a beautiful game.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
It reminded me of Eternal Sunshine, which I know you love a lot. And that's why I thought of you of like some of those same emotions flowing through this thing.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm glad you found it.
Yeah. I'm so glad that I did it. Like I always intended to play it. It was just a matter of like finding a good time where like I could give it the attention that it deserves. There's one of my kids in particular, I think would really find it to be a really moving experience. But at the same time, it's really a big ask to be like, sit in my office and I'm not going to, because I want him to have the same experience that I did where he doesn't know anything, but it's like that you make a game homework and then, it's just like, you gotta go into it with some attitude. I don't know.
You can at least try it. What's the worst that could happen?
Well, find out.
We'll find out. You ready to take some calls?
I would love it.
Okay. First caller. I hope we hear a voice soon. First caller.
Yoo-hoo.
Hello, first caller.
Hey,
how's it going, MacDac? Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for asking me.
Yeah. So your goal was stop eating on weekends. Stop binge eating on weekends.
Stop eating it all. Yes, no more food. So like the binge eating thing is like when I was young, I'm 36 now, right? So when I was in high school, I was 265 pounds, was really overweight. And I lost a lot of weight. So I was like 190, 180. And then I kind of got into working out and, hanging out with the guys at the gym a lot. And it really kind of got into this rhythm of eating great during the week.
Yeah.
And then on the weekends, having like a massive cheat day.
Yep.
Right?
What are we talking? Walk us through a cheat day.
Like 8,000 calories.
Like just pizzas, chips, snacks, just everything you can find.
And just eating to the point where it's like you feel like you're pregnant and I should not be.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to be pregnant. And I would look like it in the mirror. So it's bad.
So this is still going on then?
No, not now. So it's kind of been like cyclical, but it's always been a struggle ever since then. It's like that's always been my routine is eat good and then binge and just have basically like just a really unhealthy relationship with food.
Right.
So what I kind of did to start was really just said, listen, let's like take my wife and I are going to go away to New York in September. So I was like, let me take like 16 weeks, do this slowly, not go crazy. And I started myself off at like 3,000 calories, which is still a lot. And I would have that every single day and not, on the weekends when the weekend would come, eating that much food during the week would kind of make it a little bit easier for me not to go crazy.
Oh, weird. Just kind of leveling it out.
Exactly. So far it's really worked. I've been able to decrease it a bit and not go nuts on the weekends. So it's been nice.
That's I mean, I thought you were going to have some strict way of cracking down on this, but the idea of just eat more during the week and then you're not going to rebound as hard is one of those
Yeah,
easy solutions,
and
I guess.
one of the things that's helped is like I eat a lot of like high volume food. So for anybody out there that's trying to like lose weight and doesn't want to like starve themselves, just like, huge salads, big wraps. I make
Right.
French toast, but I use all egg whites and like no milk. So that way I'm full during the day, and you don't really feel like you're dieting if you eat stuff that just, makes you feel full.
Right. Yeah, I always heard, this is probably idiotic, with the idea like, oh, just drink a ton of water so you always feel full.
And I'm always going to the bathroom though.
Yeah, that's true. But then you weigh yourself right after that. I mean, you're looking at a couple pounds change there if you really have a good
Now
bathroom
I'm
break.
jacked. Yeah, but yeah.
Now I'm jacked.
Exactly.
Cool.
I just drink half a gallon of water. I gained 8 pounds. I'm good. I don't have to work out anymore.
Well, that's awesome. Congratulations. You're going to get this rolling into the future then?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, as long as I can keep it going. And that's the other thing too. It's like I also don't want to be like crazy with it and like never say that, you're never allowed to eat junk food again. It's like I'm going to obviously do that, and I'm going to take days off like everybody should who's into eating good at all. But just finding that healthy balance of like not doing it, not compulsively, but not like I don't need to do this to make myself enjoy my weekend, right? It's like that thing with drinking. Like you shouldn't have to like gorge yourself into oblivion to have a good time. It's like
At some point, it does not help.
correct.
Cool. Well, hey, MacDeck, thanks for being a member of the community, and thanks for calling in, dude.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, thanks a lot for calling. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Bye.
All right, bye, Cork. Bye.
By the way, if you're wondering, who are these people? How are you arranging these calls? How did you select these people? We just went through and found people who had good goals, interesting goals on the spreadsheet that are active in the Discord community. So if you want to jump in there and potentially be a caller next month, we'd love to have you, including this mystery person who, Cork, I don't think you've ever talked to, but it's a shame. It's a crying shame that you don't know this voice. Hello, Sarah Podzorski.
Hello.
Welcome to BetterQuest.
Woo!
Jeff Cork, this is Sarah Podzorski, who's MinnMax's streaming compatriot, streams every Tuesday on Twitch. And if you're watching the video version, her image is up right now. Is that weird, Sarah, when you're streaming on Twitch and then like we have that slideshow and your face comes up on the slideshow below your face?
Because then it's two of me. And I'm like, oh, there I am. Again.
Trying to perfectly recreate the little pose. Mm-hmm. And I feel like, here's a weird thing too, that I worry about with that picture, because I worry a lot about that picture. I lose a lot of sleep about it, Sarah. Is that you have like, I feel like all those like cutesy pictures of like you and your dog, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like it's kind of tongue-in-cheek, a little bit silly and jokey. Is that correct? And I worry that people just see the picture and they're like, who is this weirdo that's like
with my dog?
Uncomfortably obsessed with their dog? Or are you that uncomfortably obsessed with your dog?
Poggers is part of the brand, okay? We're a package deal.
Right.
We're together. We're in it together.
Mm-hmm. Ride or die.
Part
I understand.
of it.
Yeah. I won't ever separate you two then. Every picture of you will also include Poggers.
He's in my lap right now as we speak.
Oh my God. Sarah, you had a goal for the month of July that we saw in that spreadsheet. What is it?
Yeah. I didn't think you were going to see it, but my goal for July is to build my own keyboard.
Hell yeah.
I guess I would say from scratch. However, I'm just sourcing the parts and putting it together.
Like, when you say sourcing the parts, is that literally like, I need to find a P key at a bargain price?
Yeah. I mean, basically, it's like I bought a base, and then I bought my switches, and then I have my keycaps, and then I have like my PCB board, like all this stuff. I didn't realize how much went into it. Honestly, it's harder than building a PC.
Really? What is it? Is it just like ship in a bottle syndrome?
It's just you can get very in the weeds with it. You can make it exactly what you want. And anything you can dream, you can make it into a keyboard. Like the colors, the size. It's amazing.
Yeah, like what else do you want from a keyboard? I mean, I'm happy with mine.
Well, so what happened to me, this is how I got into it, right?
Yeah.
Is I had a dream of a very specific keyboard. I wanted something very specific and I just couldn't find it. And then I follow some people who make their own keyboards and I'm like, that's cool. It seems like, like pen people who like pens.
Yes, definitely
and
relative.
they're a little uppity about it. I'm like, it kind of seems like that.
Yeah.
But anyways, I discovered these switches, these key switches, so it makes your key click. And they're called banana splits. Okay. And the sound they make, I can't even describe it. It just itches my brain. So anyways, I discovered that and I was like, well, if I want to use these switches, I have to make my own keyboard. Like, you can't just buy a keyboard that already has the switches in.
So this is dumb. Switches are just like the on-off trigger that you hit?
Like, so you know when you like click a key down?
Yeah.
And it makes like a click, 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 and that's a switch. Underneath your key cap is the switch.
Okay. So
is the key switch, yeah.
And that was your vision, is you wanted a keyboard that would gnaw inside your brain?
I wanted a specific noise, a specific size, a specific key type. And I was like, the only way I'm going to get this is if I build it myself.
Oh my God. Okay, so now what's the process? You order parts and you go through 300 YouTube tutorials?
Yes, I figured out exactly what I wanted. I figured out the parts I would need to make it. And I ordered the parts. I already have some of it. And now it's just a matter of waiting for things to arrive and then putting it all together.
That's going to be really satisfying. Honestly,
yeah.
You could even make that like one of your Twitch streams every Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah. I have to actually, so you know how there's like the switches, right? Every key has a switch.
Well, we know that, obviously.
So you can buy a switch, but you could go a step further and you can lube your switches and put something in them, and you have to individually open each switch and like paint them with lube, like used in airplanes. So anyways, I'm going to be doing that because I have completely lost my mind.
Cool. Well, that seems great. Do you think you're honestly going to stream it like on your own Twitch channel?
They do have like a mechanical keyboard streams.
What?
Of people just putting these together. So maybe, but I'm like such a beginner. And this is just kind of like I've spent so much money on this. You know, I'm in it for the long run now.
Yeah, I think you should do it. I mean, you're the type of person that streamed yourself playing before your eyes. You know, like you like to be raw out there. So like, yeah, if you mess it up and you accidentally swallow a JK, like it's not going to be the end of the world, right? It's fine. People want to see you struggling with the keyboard, I think.
They do. They probably would really enjoy that.
Yeah. Well, cool. Thanks for calling in, Sarah. Best of luck. Let us know how it goes.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah. Do you want to plug your Twitch channel?
Oh, sure. You can catch me on Twitch at SarahPods, or also on my Twitter. I'll be updating my keyboard journey also at SarahPods.
Perfect. And you're streaming every Tuesday evening on MinnMax's Twitch channel. So thanks so much, Sarah.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Goodbye.
I thought at first she was going to be like, I want the space bar in the middle. That's what she had, a very specific thing.
Yeah, like the very middle of the keyboard. You mean like vertically?
Diagonally, actually.
Oh, interesting.
The way you can't put the battleship.
Cork, do I talk too much during these calls?
No.
Okay. Feel free to cut me off at any moment.
Yeah?
Yeah, whatever you want. Hello, Adrian.
You could have a button rigged with that.
It'd be nice.
Hello.
Hello, Adrian T.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you doing, sir?
Not too bad.
You're on with me, and you're on with Jeff Cork.
Hey.
Ooh. Wait, this is live.
Oh, we're live, baby. You're here. Your goal, this is your goal last month or your goal coming up? It is to design a board game?
That was last month. We're in July now. So yeah, that was last month.
Okay. How did the whole process go?
So I had already made some progress with it, like enough to where I knew a month was a good pace to start getting to the point where I could make something that was at least, a first draft to finish a first draft. And it was definitely really tough at points. I got to some points I posted in the Discord. So yeah, when you fix one thing, I tend to break other things, and someone's like, "Yeah, welcome to game development," in a very encouraging way. So it was very interesting. Yeah.
Okay, so I have a lot of questions about this. A friend of mine wants to design a board game, and I actually hung out with him a couple times just to like spitball ideas. It's one of those things of like, yeah, I'll just help out a bit. And then by the end of the session, he's like, I'm really into this, and I want to like maybe design my own because it is really fun. But it's such a weird moment of like when you transition from spitballing ideas and even writing it down to then, okay, when do we actually move on to like a paper test here?
I think for me, it was when I could see that I don't know if you call it the game loop, or I could see that the main elements were in place, that there could be a beginning and an end. And you know, I get what you're saying though, because it is really tough, and it also depends on the type of game that you're making. So I did want to say too, it's really cool that you have some interest in it. I did want to say too, I had a little bit of experience because I have an older brother who actually made his own kind of like a card character combat game. And he's had actually really good success, an independent artist and graphic designer. And so I had some...
You're breaking up. Are you still there? Yeah, we got you. So, okay, your brother then, like, my other big question is like, okay, you can design something in your house. You can, you know, hire an artist. You can print out pieces of paper, slide them around, do the play test. Like, what's the next step? Like, what's the production step? Are there just companies that you can find that'll print this stuff out and make it look professional?
So I'm at the point now where, because I've made as much as I have, at first I originally just made this for my family, and I was thinking, you know, I'd play with my kids and we'd have an okay, you know, good time or whatever. And it's just a fun, you know, little project. But honestly, the more I've done it, I'm starting to get to the point where I feel like I might be onto something. Like I might have an idea that maybe people actually would want to engage with. And so I haven't gone down that path yet as far as, you know, producing this and all that stuff. I have that in mind for a future BetterQuest goal, actually, like to do research and then actually to see what it would take to maybe do something like a Kickstarter.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome.
I have a question for you about like designing a board game. Okay. So where do you find, like, I don't play a ton of board games. I've played some board games. I would feel like if I had the idea for a board game, I would feel obligated to play a bunch of stuff that's on the market to make sure that I understood what I needed to do to make it interesting. But at the same time, I would be worried that if I did too much research, that I would subconsciously rip off ideas that had already been established. So is that something that you had to grapple with?
Yes, I'm definitely, I definitely have a little bit of that. But what I did want to say, actually, and I'll kind of to answer this question as well as what I was thinking for Ben, as far as when it comes to like, I think I want to sit down and start making something of my own. Yes, I think it's awesome that you have the foundation of I'm really into this thing, whether it be board games or anything. And so you have that foundation, and I think that's a great foundation. But also something that I think kind of gave me a lot of freedom was I actually started out this idea as a game for younger kids. And because that was the case, I was able to like kind of let go of, you know, kind of like perfectionistic tendencies where this has to be like really deep and all those things that you imagine people want. And then the more I thought on that level, the more I realized this really isn't for kids. It's just for anyone who kind of wants a more simple experience.
Right.
Sometimes adults want that too. And so that's one thing that I learned in this process this month is, oh, you know what? Kind of lowering your standards in a way, as far as like making sure you're just touching on some of those basics. It was actually really motivating. And so, yeah, there's moments where little ideas from other games come in. And at the same time, if you're looking really objectively at board games or video games, there's lots of shared, you know, mechanics and little, you know, inspirations here and there that it's almost unavoidable.
I think that's the thing is, I mean, as long as you're not blatantly ripping something off, I think it's kind of common practice to like, take what works, and everyone's kind of iterating on this whole thing together, you know? Well, that's cool. Well, congratulations for making progress, and good luck moving into the future there, Adrian.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks so much. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye. Take care. Get home safe.
I find it would be like an absolute nightmare, like to make a board game. Yeah. And then especially like the way things have been over the past year, where it's just like you're enlisting your family to play this thing with you. And at a certain point where they're just like, enough. We don't want to yes, you changed the card. Now it's 4 and it used to be 3.
Exactly.
But like, I can't tell anymore if this
Okay,
is fun.
well that's fine, honey. Just if you could just fill out this survey, just scale of 1 to 10, just one more time, and then you're free to go.
I had a good time playing this game. I agree. I strongly agree. I disagree. I strongly disagree.
I'm enjoying this relationship. Strongly agree. Hello, Dan Phantom.
Hi there.
Ah, you sound like a damn phantom. Welcome to BetterQuest, sir. Your goal is to go full keto?
Yes, sir.
Okay, how'd that go for you?
Well, I just started today. This is my
perfect.
July goal. This is my first time doing it
Okay.
for the BetterQuest.
Well, welcome, man.
So, thank you.
Yeah, so how's it going on day 1, I guess?
It's good. I kind of did like a small run into it. I gave up sugar about 2 weeks ago, so I'm feeling pretty good on that. And today's my first day full stop with no bread or carbohydrates in my diet.
May I interest you in a wet cake? Nah, that's fine. Okay, the no sugar thing is interesting. Do you have a takeaway, a lesson from just 2 weeks of that?
You know, you never know when you're really kind of like, you might kind of have like, be kind of hinging on something or in a sense addicted on something until you give it up. And I've been calling it the sugar shakes for the last 2 weeks of just kind of like getting that notion of like, man, I really want a waffle, or man, I really want a cookie.
Right.
And you really just gotta, for me, it's just, you gotta dig deep and just kind of understand that like, you don't like, it's, you don't need those things. It's just your body is kind of craving that massive amount of sugar that it's used to having.
Just for,
and you just kind of have to,
yeah, just for the dopamine it releases in your brain or whatever technically is going on there. It's like, that's what it's craving.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice. And what's prompting the big shift for your diet here?
Well, my mom, she just got diagnosed with diabetes, so she's had to completely change her diet. And I'm kind of using it as partial motivation and also solidarity with her to also get rid of all these things, these carbohydrates, these sugars. So she's just not going it alone going forward.
That's amazing. Are you living with her?
I do not live with her, but I do live. I live in the next town over, so I'm a constant presence in her life. So
that's a really sweet thing to do. I feel like that, I don't know, might not feel like the world, but I do feel like that makes a huge difference for just like every time you're getting together, you're not worrying, you're not eating your Twix bars in front of her and stuff. I feel like that's a really subtly, incredibly supportive thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. And I just, it's just, I think it kind of stinks when you have to, change your diet and you're the only person eating it. So at the very least, she's not alone in having to eat the things that she needs to eat.
Yeah.
So how much label gazing have you had to do? I would imagine like something like
a lot.
Like something like, I'm going to get these brats because that's a lot of like protein. And then you're like, oh, it's got corn syrup in it or something.
Yeah. It's, I just got into the habit of just anything I grab, just automatically just turning it around and checking the label and just saying like, well, can't have that. Nope. Can't have that.
Have you found like good resources for like, this is a brand that does it right and you could just safely buy their stuff, or is it just like, good luck, it's a nightmare out there?
Yeah, it's more good luck. It's kind of hit or miss. It's just really coming down to kind of like just looking at paying attention to it. There's a couple like hot sauce brands. I'm a big spicy food person, and there's a couple hot sauce brands I've moved to that don't use any kind of sugar in their product, and then mainly just kind of sticking just to the basics, just meat and dark greens. That's just.
So it's not just like added sugar. I mean, even like a strawberry, you'd be like, hell no.
Oh, yeah, I have no fruit in my diet whatsoever.
Wow, man. I'm very impressed.
No sugar.
Yeah. And you're going to be super strict on this for the foreseeable future?
Yeah, at least for the next 60 days. And then I'll kind of reassess where I'm at after that.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Best of luck to you. If you're ever tempted, jump in that Discord channel and we'll all scream at you. Don't eat the strawberry. Don't eat that wet cake, bro.
Definitely.
Cool. All right. Thanks so much, Dan Phantom.
All right, you guys take it easy.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
You seem nice.
Yeah. That's because he's on day 1. He's going to be a nightmare in a week. No, just teasing.
Don't talk to me till I've had my sugarless hot sauce, Dan Phantom says.
No. A new brand.
Hello, Killslayer.
Hey, how's it going?
Really well. How you doing, sir?
Doing pretty well.
Good. Welcome to BetterQuest this month. Jeff Cork is here too, listening attentively.
Intently
is the word I was looking for. Okay, you got a fun one here, Killslayer. Your goal this month, or last month, was to create a dialogue replacement mod for Mass Effect.
Right. So yeah, this was a June goal.
Okay.
So just to get it out of the way, not quite leveling up, but I do have some things to talk about. Basically, the thing I wanted to do is with Mass Effect and games like it, you've heard people, complain about before, like, oh, the preview of what I wanted to say wasn't quite the tone I thought it was going to be.
Right.
And like the subtitle or the preview on the dialogue wheel not matching up with what the actual dialogue is. And the line a friend of mine and I had always focused on is early on in Mass Effect 1, there's a line you can say that is just, I'm pissed off about the Geth. That's not what the character says. The character says, Intel dropped the ball. We didn't know what we were getting into.
Right.
But the preview is, I'm pissed off about the Geth. So rather than the smart mod, which people have done before, I think, which is making the preview text match the dialogue. Yeah. I wanted to go at it from the other direction and make the dialogue match the preview text. By replacing audio with,
God,
computer generated, Microsoft Sam, I'm pissed off about the Geth.
That's amazing.
It was a good idea. Unfortunately, what I ran into digging into all of this is, with the way Mass Effect 1 files are set up, it's not really something you can unpack and replace individual files in that way.
Oh, man.
You can in Mass Effect 2 and 3, which didn't help with my I'm pissed off about the Geth line.
Right.
But, so I spent a lot of the month just kind of digging into the modding tools for the Mass Effect series and figuring out what's possible and just kind of messing with things here and there. One thing I was able to get working with that, which was funny, is finding the tool that lets you change like the flow of dialogue. So for that specific scene, just making all the dialogue wheel options say I'm pissed off about the Geth and lead into that same line. That was one thing I was able to do. I was not actually able to replace the audio, which is a Mass Effect 1 thing. If you want to hear more about the development of Mass Effect 1, there's a very good interview on the MinnMax stream.
Thank you. That's very sweet. So I'm very dumb when it comes to this stuff. Like, is it like literally... I guess my question is, how are you unpacking these things? Is there just software you use and then you just install the game and then redirect it, yada, yada, yada?
Yeah, so for Mass Effect specifically, there are tools that people have made that are all kind of amalgamated in a program called ME3 Explorer, which has a bunch of different tools. There's one for audio and there's one for replacing textures and one for rerouting dialogue and whatever. So it's going in there and then it's digging into the actual install files of the game. So going in and finding, one fun part was trying to figure out what all the naming conventions were for like where they're putting everything. So like NOR_MIR_005 is like, okay, NOR means it's a conversation on the Normandy. MIR means it's a conversation with Miranda.
That's fun.
And 005 is the fifth one of that. So even just like as a fan, digging through all that stuff was super fun.
Yeah.
And then there are tools for, pulling up like the actual logic of like quest progression and stuff. And that's how people do mods with that of like, oh, this is a skip, Novaria mod or whatever. You don't have to do Novaria on this one.
Right.
And that stuff's really cool because you can pull up like the Unreal blueprints, which actually, if you've played Game Builder Garage, it's pretty similar to that visually. It's inputs and outputs and dragging and dropping things. It's a lot more complicated. Obviously, there's tons and tons of nodes and, rewiring them to make the logic different. But yeah, it was super cool just digging into all that stuff because I made like very small time Unity stuff for a while, but don't really have any insight into like file structure and formats and stuff for AAA. So that was kind of the reason behind making this my goal, was trying to learn a little bit more about, the differences between one person making a little indie thing on their own and then, hundreds of people touching a project.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Hats off to you for digging in there, even if you didn't quite, get to the core of why Shepard's so pissed about these Geth. I think that's right. You learned a lot about Bioware in the process. That's sweet.
I would have thought they would have added that to the Legendary Edition, really, beef up that storyline about being pissed off about the Geth.
Yeah, it seems really important.
Speaking of beefing up, I got a quick Mass Effect question.
Yeah,
either one of you guys can answer. So with the remastered versions, Jacob takes his top off. Is it still as shocking as it was the first time it happened in the original release?
Because he has like 600 abs or something?
Good God, yeah.
Yeah, they actually added more.
I've I've already played through the Legendary Edition of 2 twice, and I can't say I saw that scene because Jacob's not a great choice for that.
Yeah. It is stunning, Cork. Like, at least I've only played Mass Effect 1 in the Legendary Edition, but like skin and textures get weird. Like every close-up of, why am I blanking on his name? Anderson is just vomit-inducing. He's such a cool character. Every time you see his face on the screen, it just looks like dog S. It is so weird. Yeah, something about him in particular is just like...
Someone should really mod that, yeah.
Yeah, hey, someone knows the tools. Well, hey, Killslayer, hats off to you, and keep digging through those files, dude.
Oh, yeah, that's what I do.
Cool.
Stay pissed.
Thanks so much, Killslayer. Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
All right. We also have a lot of our people who have great goals for July here. Evan One Sonic wants to write something that he's proud of based on games. Interesting. Steve L wants to buy a house and continue working on his second manuscript. Darkfish Days is doing back strengthening exercises 4 times a week. Blackjack's doing 10 push-ups a day. Nice and simple. If you're listening, just choose one like Blackjack here. Yeah. SpiralInYourEyes wants to finish Genki 2 Japanese textbook. Charlemagne wants to complete all scheduled trainer road works out with your workout. Clemens is going to study C# 3 times a week. And Crab Palace made a song. He's the guy who had that rap before Cork that we played. He has this YouTube video which is excellent, where it's him jumping into, forget the details, some music Discord and trying to impress them, and he made a song. Did you see this by chance?
I think he was on and he talked about it, and then they were not into it at all, right?
Yeah. Wait, he talked about this already?
I think so.
Oh, God. We didn't play his song then that he made to impress them, did he? Okay, so he then made a song. It's a slippery slope, but let's try listening to a bit of Crab Palace's song here. It's a very fancy Discord, keep in mind. Music Discord.
I walked into the room and it smelled like dookie. Someone came in here and they didn't flush their poopy. Truth be told, I've always liked the smell of farts. If the diet is good, then it can be like art. But whoever was in here made something truly stinky. Could tell it was bad cause it sent a shiver down my pinky. I stumbled backwards down the stairs like a slinky. Headed to the kitchen and I'd pour myself a whiskey. I chug it all down, man that poop was brown. Someone just left it there, waiting to be found. I mean the booze should help. My sorrows will be drowned, but it's still in my nostrils. I've been clowned. Who could have done this? Could it have been Reggie? No, his farts smell good because he eats lots of veggies. Well, how about Mike? We always fight, and I know he eats a ton of egg whites. Nah, man, that just can't be right. I just can't see him doing a poop that stinky tonight. Could it have been Herb? That guy is a perv, and I'm pretty sure he'd believe that this is what I deserve. But Herb died 4 years ago, so could he have done this poop? No. I miss you, bro. I miss you.
And it's a 1.5-minute long guitar solo. So congratulations, Crab Palace, for swinging big. And in that video, he includes like people's live reaction listening to it for the first time, and like in the Discord, and when they're like, "What the hell is this?" Excellent work. Anyways, thanks to everybody who set a great goal for the month of July. Best of luck to everybody for achieving it. Jeff Cork, I think we got to set some goals for ourselves, dude. What are you feeling?
All right, here's the deal.
Yeah.
This is it's like a two fart. Stupid
fart.
Crab Palace, I tell you.
Too furious.
It's broken my brain. No, I think I want to, like I said, want to keep doing the helping writers if they need help.
That's interesting.
Thing.
Okay,
so
yeah.
We'll extend that one. And this is another one because I know myself and I'm going to hold myself accountable. I think last time we spoke, I was talking about virtual pinball cabinet, right?
Yeah.
All right. So here's the deal.
Yeah. What's the deal?
I'm getting it tomorrow.
Badass.
Right?
Yeah.
But I'm going to have to do a ton of mods on it. We're talking adding a knocker, adding a shaker motor, adding a bunch of solenoids, adding a digital, like a little screen, extra thing.
A couple
all the
keyboards.
Stuff that what's that?
A couple keyboards.
Special space bar.
Yep.
I know that this is the kind of thing where as I get it, it'll be like, this is good enough, and I can just postpone all this other work that I have to do to get it to where I want it to be. So, and I have all these parts. I just need to install them. So like, that's my goal, is to, before I settle on good enough, I really push myself to installing all the stuff.
Installing all stuff for virtual pinball.
This is true.
All right. And what are you most worried about?
Not doing it. And getting frustrated, because a lot of it has to do with like, it's kind of like a sweet spot between electronics and carpentry and like troubleshooting computer stuff.
Yeah.
Where like every one of those I feel like I'm fairly competent at, but like there's like a little sliver in the middle where it's just like, that's where I like punch through the wall.
Yeah, but that's the feeling of doing something new, you know?
It's true.
I love it. Well, best of luck in the month of July, Corky.
Thank you. How about you?
I think I'm going to make more bread. I'm going to make a loaf every day throughout the month of July. No, this is one that I've wanted to do for a while, and I need your help on details. Okay. But I realized that, like, okay, I guess my job now is primarily talking. All I do is sit in my basement and blather into this mic and play songs about people pooping in an office. And so it's like, I should probably get better at it. I want to take voice lessons.
Oh, interesting.
Not singing, but speaking voice lessons. See if there's like any sort of radio training course type thing.
Like speak from below.
Speak from below.
Yeah.
And those are great tips. Yeah. And so not singing. And the thing that I'm trying to figure out now is like, is it just going to be all online? Is it going to be like a group thing? Is it only going to be bundled with like public speaking, which I'm terrified of, even though people try to tell me that that's what I do every day, but it doesn't seem like it. What do you think I should be Googling when I want to start this journey?
This feels like cheating in a way.
How so?
I would do a two-prong attack.
Yeah.
One, I would find someone who's offering some kind of vocal lessons that you can check in on Discord a few times. Okay.
Okay.
Also, I would reach out to some professional voice actors.
Ooh, okay. I know one.
And have conversations with them about how, like, some tips that they could offer. And you could also share your experiences so far with getting, so it's clear that you're not just like, here, I want free voice lessons from a voice actor. You know what I mean? Like, just to have a conversation, because I think it's something a lot of people are interested in, especially with streaming. No one likes the sound of their own voice.
Right.
But I think that if there are some things that people could do to make their voices sound better, or like to help prolong their voice, you know what I mean? So like if there's some habits that you get into that if you're planning on speaking for a very long time are actually like bad for your voice, they have things to avoid. I think, yeah, I would do that.
That sounds good. I mean, yeah, I could reach out to Sarah Elmale, who we did the deepest dive in Mass Effect 4, and it is amazing how great her voice was. Because like all the comments at the deepest dive were like, I could listen to Sarah talk for just forever. I just hope she never stops talking. And I wonder if maybe I could reach that, Cork. And then finally I won't be able to stop talking.
Yeah.
Just think of the possibility. Okay. I like that. I'll go for those two. That seems like a good goal for July. So some sort of private thing, then some sort of public thing is kind of your split.
Yeah. And I think it'd be like a fun thing that people can, like, at the end, you've got something cool to show for it. Like, here are some tips for like streamers or people who do a lot of talking or public speaking to help save their voice and also get the most out of their voice.
Yeah. All right. Let's go for it. We got a new month. We got a new goal, baby. Time to hit the gas, Jeff Cork. Number one voice lesson, stop using this voice and talking about hitting the gas.
Yeah, you want to speak from your sinuses, right?
I think that's how it works, yeah. Hey, thanks so much, everybody, for watching. If you want to join the BetterQuest community, you can support us at patreon.com/MinnMax with 2 N's at any tier. Jump in that Discord and be held accountable throughout the month. Jeff Cork, what's your month looking like?
Fun times ahead.
Fun times ahead, yeah. It's not really a BetterQuest thing, but I've been proud of myself that I've been riding bike every morning.
Do you want to try that again? You've been riding bike every morning?
I've been riding bike every morning. Should I say I've been riding my bike?
Okay.
I've been riding. So I borrow my bike across my feet every morning. No, but it's like last summer I got into running and then my knee exploded or something. And so it's been like my new replacement now is biking. And I've been going for every day for quite a while. Like really quite a while, like doing Strava and all that fun stuff.
That's what doctors recommend.
Yeah. But it's honestly, it's very good. So I do like 9.5 miles every morning. And I cannot recommend exercising in the morning enough. Like doing it before you take a shower, before anything, because it feels like it never happened. It's like a crazy, weird brain trick where then the rest of the day, even today, I'm like, was that really today where I was out there biking? It's just when you're barely awake, like it's like I wake up within 5 minutes, I'm on my bike. And it's just,
are you biking on the road?
No, there's like trails like around the lakes here in Minneapolis.
Okay.
A little bit on the road.
Okay.
But yeah, it's lovely.
So you're easy pickings to the raincoat killer.
Why, do you know him? How's his voice, by the way? Do you think you can give me a couple tips?
Very squeaky.
Come over here. All right. Well, anyways, that's it for this episode of BetterQuest. Thanks so much. We'll be back next month with a bunch of new stuff. Let's see. Oh, Cork. We should tell everybody watching this that we have several other podcasts, but one of them we just actually had a new episode for, which is our podcast all about the band AFI.
Yeah.
We've covered every song ever released by the band AFI, and the podcast is called A Fire Inside Out on your favorite podcast app. This isn't a Patreon exclusive or nothing. And so if you want this podcast going back to 2015 is when it started, and it's a whole journey. And the nicest thing that people say about it is they don't care about AFI. They hate Miss Murder, but still it's just an interesting journey to talk about the evolution of this one band's sound, because few bands have changed as much as AFI.
It's quite a ride.
Quite a ride. And we review their new album Bodies in the latest episode, so we'd appreciate it if you check that out too. But all right, that's it for this episode of BetterQuest. And this is the episode, Cork, where we definitively come up with a good closing line for BetterQuest.
Okay. Bye.
But better buy better buy good
Best Buy
best buy games, friends, and getting babied.
Giant bomb.
Giant bomb.
Get better at thinking on my feet.
Yeah.
That's the goal for August.
Questing to be better, damn it, says William Garcia, watching us live at the Backstage Pass. Okay, so BetterQuest, it's about getting better and holding each other accountable. So, is it just as simple as I'll see you when we're better, something like that, like that idea? But can you write it up and make it punchy and fun?
I can't think of anything that rhymes with that though.
Yeah. Should we just go with Giant Bomb?
Yeah, I think that's good. Placeholder.
Yeah. What about just new month, better you? What about just
late than never?
Better late than better. Better quest than next time.
I'm drowning here. Help.
I'm drowning. Help me. I'm in shambles. Okay. What about
I was expecting?
Yeah. What about like leveling up? Like, like. Level with me next month.
These are all super solid.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a buyer's market.
Kind of a buyer's market. Okay. Okay. We're just going to wing it. It's going to be a little something like this, Cork. Okay. Ready?
Buyer's market.
Okay. Don't get in my head, bro. Don't get in my head. Okay. Something like, well, that's it for this episode of BetterQuest. We'll see you next month when we're all better. Bye, everybody. Bye, every better?
Bye, everybody.
You can help support independent games media by subscribing to MinnMax on YouTube here, or you can support us over on Patreon to unlock exclusive shows like MinnMax Council. You can call into our podcast, you can put a picture of your choice on every MinnMax video, or you could have us plug your passion project on the MinnMax Show podcast. MinnMax is a Patreon about games, friends, and getting better, and we exist because of you. Any help telling a friend's appreciated.